Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Tonight we have another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards, where we are introducing a new character to his clan, as well as to get him acknowledged. Primarily vampire venue, but if you guys choose to go on doing something else after I go to sleep, that's all perfectly fine. Sorry. So, within the Chantry, Jameson's going to send for Titus and send for Alwyn both to come to his office. So go ahead and intro yourselves based upon who would probably get there first.
I have no idea. You go first, Anthony.
So Titus will show up in a three-piece suit, much like the one depicted in his overlay. Gray suit, looking quite smart, quite professional. With a briefcase in his left hand, he shows up, knocks the appropriate time on the door, and he... you called, sir?
Yes, I'm going to be taking you to the Elysium this evening to introduce you to the Prince. I'm just waiting on one other person to arrive. If you'd like to, and he'll stand up waiting.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that Mercer is shortly behind. I wish I had his overlay, because that would be cool. Give me 1 second, let me see if I can jerry-rig something. Do, don't screw me, Google. World of Darkness menu.
Is your pick face Jesse Williams?
Yeah, it does look like him, doesn't it?
It is him, actually.
Nice.
Boom.
Jesse.
There you go. See, now you already have an in with the Prince. Well, the Prince's player. Bam. About the best I can do right now.
Sweet.
Brown hair with the super nerdy glasses and the bow tie with the jacket with the sweater underneath, because reasons.
I can take it.
Once Alwyn enters, Jameson will look up. Mr. Mercer, this is Mr. Buchanan. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. We'll be heading to the Elysium shortly.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mercer. He'll hold out his hand.
Yeah, Alden will shake it. I guess, Alden, what brings you to Hong Kong, out of curiosity?
I do what my clan requires of me. I didn't have much choice in the matter.
Fair enough.
Titus was one of the unwilling members of the apprentice relocation program. Which is basically Jameson's way of saying, yeah, they kind of just sent him here without telling him anything.
Ouch! He goes to sleep. Next thing he knows, he wakes up in the Chantry and Hong Kong. What the?
House and clan. Smile. Be happy about it.
Yeah, pretty
We
much.
all have aspects.
You know what? I'm just gonna roll with this. Well, I guess if there's business to be taken care of, it should be taken care of immediately then.
Absolutely.
Hey, Julia, we're about to transition to you.
Hold on 1 minute,
Okay.
because Kim's wanting to come in on this too.
Okay.
That's okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
You shut up. You just no. I'm gonna warn you ahead of time. You're about to be asked if you're a fuck up. And all kidding aside.
This will be fun. I need to talk to Mr. Ramirez.
Oh dear. You know what, Brett? You can hold off what you were planning to do tonight.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, Julia just told me that Becker wants to talk to Miss Ramirez, and that never ends good. When a friend
Oh,
wants
God.
to talk to him personally.
But
You know what,
before Becker gets pissed off, I really need to have her talk to Beckett.
Becker's always pissed off?
That
No,
is
I
a
mean,
fair point. All right. That's a good thing I have this folder open because that means I can transition smoothly to Becker when that time comes.
So she's like, I should have been
You
told
will
that
talk
Tremere
to
Meetup was
us.
happening, and I'm like, it wasn't Tremere Meetup. It was me making it so a character can RP without worrying about getting shot by the Scourge.
Yes.
That is usually the best option, especially when the Scourge kind of is a dick.
Nope.
Just like the Prince is kind of a bitch.
It all comes in when playing a 7-5-3. You are the lowest man on the totem pole. I accept that.
Alright, well, I'm waiting for Kim to decide if she wants to do this or not. Julia! While I'm waiting on Kim to decide if she actually wants to join or not, do you want to do Becker meeting Beckett?
Sure,
Oh dear Jesus!
I will warn you. Huge castle fan, so all I see is Kate Beckett from Castle. I know what to do. It doesn't matter.
Man, we have vicissitude floating around this city. We can make it. We can add some breasts.
Alright, so... yeah, there's actually more vicissitude running around the city again.
You can
So-
blame one of my PCs for that.
Yep, and you can blame my plot for the other one. Anyway, so it's Elysium. Mask has let Becker know that Beckett is awaiting her pleasure in the salon. Also,
Oh,
that Regent Jameson has another clan member that's come in to help out with the situation with the technocracy.
When did he get here? And or Gus?
Well, Gus is away, so it has to be Dahy running the narrator lines.
Upon hearing that, Becker will nod and head to meet with Beckett.
Alright, so I'm sure you've played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, so you know what Beckett looks like.
Have you played
Oh,
the lines?
Nope, never played.
Okay,
well,
there's for edification for Anthony Becker.
let me pull up a picture for Julia.
It's okay. I kind of like thinking it's Kate Beckett.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking. I was just gonna roll with it. But
Well, it's good to know who you're dealing with.
eyes down, avert your eyes, smile and nod. Yes, please, and may I have another? Pretty simple.
Ooh, here's a good picture of Beckett, actually.
Yeah, there's some good ones in some of the books. The artists that that White Wolf hires they can be sketchy in some of the books, but sometimes they are very top notch.
Take a look at that. Tell me what you think.
Well, first of all, it depends if AT&T will let me.
Oh,
And the answer is yes.
That's cool.
All right. Interesting.
I approve.
Clearly on a morality path.
Clearly.
A path of enlightenment, not humanity.
Path of awesome. I gotcha.
I don't
Anything that's
honestly.
not humanity. And isn't one of the douchebag paths of enlightenment is a path of awesome?
No, correct.
I could
You
never
are on
tell if
path
he
of,
was.
if you're on a path that is not humanity, your life is gone to the shitter long before anything positive has happened in your life.
Yeah, here's the next one.
Paths of enlightenment are terrible. You
Well, the
cannot
thing is,
interact
I
with
could
me.
never tell if he was actually on Nod or if he was just on Harmony.
This guy doesn't look like he has friends at
I
all.
can see harmony, but then again, I can't. It's one of those weird ones.
Yeah.
Looks like humanity was an afterthought with this guy.
Yeah.
Well, he was a ghoul for centuries, so tends to
He has
happen.
no idea how to be human.
You know the whole thing about the Feast of Kemalki and the being that was neither human nor vampire that let out all the Harbingers of Skulls?
Mm-hmm.
It was Beckett when he was a ghoul.
That is a dick move, dude.
Slightly.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
Oh, damn, sorry. Yeah, it was covered in the
Spoiler alert. Jeez, Brett.
sorry, it was
Nah.
it was actually covered in Clanville Cappadocian. So,
Interesting.
all right. So you see him standing next to a fireplace, looking at a book in his hands. It looks old, weather-beaten, and tired. As you enter, he will close the book, turn to face you, and bow his head. Prince Becker, forgive my lack of awareness of my surroundings. It really doesn't happen that often.
No apology needed, sir. Is there something I can help you with?
Well, even though I'm not a member of your organization or of the rebellions, I have always felt necessary to hold true to the traditions, as they have stood the test of time longer than in memoriam.
I remember.
Why?
And he'll walk over. I am Beckett, and I understand you have a troublesome situation in your fair city.
There's always a situation. To which to refer?
The hungry ancient that lies slumbering in the hands of unknown forces.
I know about that.
Yes, it's the elder in the sarcophagus.
Okay, never mind.
Because
I was thinking of things.
Brett
Wait.
likes because White Wolf is consistent on its video games of printing out different subtypes of the same plot.
Becker will just kind of look at him. And how did you come about this information?
The same way that Brother Bartholomew and Lord Zalish did. We run in similar circles, even though they do not intersect all that often. I understood the good monk is in the city right now, as is the good Lord. Though he hasn't been good for almost a millennium.
It is possible that these things happen. What, are you here to offer assistance, or simply here to confirm rumors?
A little from column A, a little from column B. There's none amongst our kind that have studied the kindred situation as closely as I have. And there are none among my kind, or yours, or any, that have been witness to the rising of such an ancient.
And what help can you offer?
Well, for starters, help in keeping him asleep. That is, if I can get to him before some fool yanks the stick out of his chest
It's not
or jars him from torpor. What'd you say?
that it's not out of the realm of possibilities. There are many fools here.
If I may ask, I've been walking around long enough to understand the situation in this domain. How many others know about him?
Well, there's my court. There's the forge. Who knows the full extent? Um, a nun knows some of it. A mage knows some of it. You would have to speak to Father Bartholomew, Brother Bartholomew, etiquette, to know who all he has let into his confidence. I have not spoken about it to anyone outside of my court, as it was brought up in my court.
Sorry, Tiger's pissed at me because apparently I talked shit about his girlfriend. Did I say anything during the stream when we were waiting for her that made it seem like I was disrespectful?
No, I made a joke, but that was it. I made
Well,
a joke.
Well, he
Not a true
messaged me and
statement.
said, "Do me a favor. Next time you feel like talking shit about my fiance, try and not do it on a live cam. We're watching the scene. I heard about how you were talking about her, and I'm pretty pissed off. I don't know what I said, honestly."
I don't know an offhand joke about an event that took place, but that was it. That was it.
All right.
I don't. Like I meant it in an angry manner, or was trying to.
I didn't catch what you said, so I have no idea.
I just made a joke with Anthony that be forewarned, the first thing she's going to tell you is don't be a fuck up.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Decorum.
I was just making an offhand joke. I mean,
In character.
sorry if it offended someone, but I meant it in good humor and jest, not in a slanderous nature.
Well, it seems fun.
All right. Anyway, well, perhaps I can find a way to talk to Brother Bartholomew, though I've been told that my presence is a little off-putting for his delicate sensibilities. You would think someone that survived the Inquisition would have a stronger stomach. Well, as long as I have your hospitality, I will continue my research and see if I cannot locate certain situations.
As long as you do not pose a problem to my court or those who I am protecting, then I see no reason not to give you my acknowledgement and hospitality. I will let my heart be known.
I said, "Good evening to you, my prince." Well, Prince Becker. Do try to keep the bumblers away from the sarcophagus. I do not relish the possibility of a breach of the silence of the blood happening within the city, especially one as vulgar as his waking up would be. And with that, he'll bow his head and walk out the door.
Will that might All right. Becca will just go to her office with Elysium. Write notes. Let Harpy know. Let Domain know not to fuck this up.
Do not touch. This is a museum. Both hands behind your back.
Okay, so at that point, as Jameson pulls up with Mercer and Buchanan, they'll see that figure walking out of the Elysium. Just so you know, the Elysium is actually a very nice standalone kind of villa. Looks like somebody had a lot of money and put it into this place, but there's signs that at one point it was a residence. Jameson will get out and we'll start heading up the stairs.
I will follow behind him, one step behind Sean's character, and keep my mouth shut.
I'll follow right behind the Regent then. Single file, everyone.
Because that doesn't make it look like you guys follow an ordinated society.
What? I know how
I'm
to
polite.
I know how to shut up. That's what I do.
Congratulations, you're better than most of the premier players that I've MET'd with outside of this game.
Shut your mouth is the name of the game.
You can't be a fuck up if you didn't do anything. So I guess we'll follow him right in to talk to the prince.
So once you walk in, a blonde woman with a Bluetooth earpiece and a clipboard will walk up, looking you over, and we'll look at Aldwin. Of course, will recognize it as Alice Cuthbert, the Keeper of Elysium. We'll look you all over, then look at Titus. I guess you're a member of the Clan Tremere, correct?
Yes.
We'll need your name and any outstanding status or boon, or sorry, any outstanding status, and I will need to check you for weapons, and you will be required to log all status and boons with the Harpy.
As a note, so when I go to type it, Anthony, what's your character's generation and how long has he been post-embrace?
I will send you a PM.
Okie dokie. That is acceptable.
That's not to put that over.
Yeah.
That's put that over live. We don't need any Diablos happening.
Yeah, too much mind's eye society.
Get out the
How
juice box,
people-
Strauss.
But my name is Titus. Exactly. My name is Titus Buchanan. And I'll give the name of Salem, Massachusetts in America.
Acknowledged, of course. I don't think anybody in the city would be dumb enough to. At that point, she'll stop her words and she'll look up and she'll say, "That guy and the ghoul that was pretending to be Bruja." Yes, there are some people who are dumb enough to come into the city without actual acknowledgement.
Oh.
At which point she will talk on her phone. The prince is in the salon. If you'd like to go ahead, just please make sure that if hospitality is extended, that you meet with Michelle Lavelle, the Primogen.
Yeah, the Harpy, Michelle LaBelle. Cool. Then you definitely have. Let me. I can't see it on here, so I'll have to pull it up on my phone. But you definitely have elder status.
Okay.
We're going by the new MET rules, so it'll be in the status log that I'll post on the forums.
Alright.
And the vampire house rules it'll have what your status basically does.
Okay. That would be fucking. What would that be? Shut. Um. I need to give you a date. Hold on. I need to look at something.
So to continue, as they are walking in, they'll notice a black-clad figure with a stainless steel mask on his face. If you would follow me, I will direct you to the prince. And he will lead the way. You recognize, of course, its mask, the seneschal. Mask will actually send a text to Becker, because if you know anything about Nosferatu, they're really good at hiding how they text in their clothing, because they actually have to do that in obfuscate to actually communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
He'll walk in, so Becker will get a text. The new Tremere, the Primogen, and Mr. Mercer are on the way in to see you.
She'll text back that she's moved us along to the office she set up in Elysium, that she's available if they would wish to come in.
Okay, at that point, he'll lead them to the office, open the door, and usher them in. Once all three are inside, I'm guessing that the other two are going to follow Jameson inside.
Yeah.
He will move to stand behind the prince.
So.
She'll look up from her desk with a light smile. I understand there's new face in my domain.
Sandy will nod, and he will take a step to the side and motion for Mercer to take a step to the side so that Titus can be visible. A member of my clan come to help with the situation. Titus Buchanan, please introduce yourself to Prince Becker.
Hello, Your Grace. My name is Titus Buchanan.
I will see you, Clan Tremere.
Yes.
Did she say House and Clan Tremere?
I'll assume Clan Tremere.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Although it wouldn't be that hard to shoot us a little easy, but that would depend on the SC. She'll look him over. What is your business within my city? My domain? Damn it.
You can say your city. That's completely legit. But I was sent here by my home to help deal with a situation that's taking place in the city.
She'll look at Jameson. Clan Tremere thinks that I need more help.
I am not.
Of course not, my prince. By no means do they think that you need any help whatsoever. However, with our presence in the domain as a whole being weaker than the rest of the city, there is such a thing as safety in numbers, is there not?
Also, if I may speak,
Mr. Mercer.
certain matters concerning the situation that we are currently dealing with requires research, as well as to fully offer the services of which Clan Tremere can towards this investigation. It often requires more than a handful of our members to process such matters effectively. The mere fact that he is here may mainly be to simply help us with our research and with the rituals necessary to find what is missing.
Hmm, I see. Mr. Buchanan,
Ma'am?
we have had some interesting individuals within this domain. I need to ask you a couple of questions. I mean no insult. I would usually think these were things that would not have to be asked of any kindred. But, as others have proven, some people just aren't that bright. So I must ask, do you plan on bringing any rare creatures into my Elysium, or anything else that might break my Elysium?
Excuse me, Your Grace?
You heard the question correctly.
Uh, Sandy will say, in all fairness, it is a legitimate question given the history of the Elysiums in this domain.
Look of horror and shock appears upon his face. No.
Good. I do not doubt your lineage, but again have to ask the question. You are in fact kindred, not ghoul, and you are of the clan you claim to be under.
Yes.
Perfect, I see no problem giving you hospitality here then. As long as you don't unduly disrupt the flow of my court, create any unnecessary problems, upset me in any way.
Shake his head. Thank you, Your Grace, for your kindness.
Speaking of problems within the city, as you pointed out, Mr. Mercer, Blanchimere is doing what it can to locate what is missing. If such time comes and you happen to find what is missing, do not remove anything that is on it or in it.
Yes, Your Grace.
Museum, don't touch.
I'm going to assume that there's a possibility that what's in that sarcophagus, once the stake is removed, could be very unhappy.
Yes, I do like having the masquerade intact.
Then it is best that perhaps when we locate this kindred and torpor, that it remains an in-house matter, as much as we are using our resources within the city of a supernatural variety to try and locate this. When we do locate it, it's best to keep those that do not belong in our business outside of it.
Well, what do the others even know about what's inside it?
Only that it is a relic of the church.
Let it stay that way. Let nobody breathe word about what's actually in there.
I fully intend on that matter, staying the way it is. I, however, have concerns not with the person that we entrusted the information to, but on the magi that intruded upon the conversation.
What magi intruded on the conversation? Actually, he'll catch himself and said, "Oh, that's right," because that was something you included in your report. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, the
Yeah.
Serena.
Mm-hmm. And Styles, I believe, is also there.
Serena and Styles. I'm not familiar with these two. I try to keep my business with the mages as sparse as possible.
I'm not particularly familiar with them either. Their only addition to the conversation is that the Hermetics in the city might have some inkling as to where the item of interest would be. I can't confirm this. I have no contacts, and they refuse to give me any.
Oh, I can actually help with that, Mr. Mercer. She'll go through her phone.
Oh, God.
I have... Here's Michael and Judith. Arthur kind of fits in there too, so I'll give you that as well. And she'll write down the information.
And he'll take it and pocket it for now. And then the players will be screaming at me later.
Of course.
I kind of want to see Michael and do some with Michael and.
I can't. They're both my characters.
Yeah.
I don't do sock puppet.
You can't really sock puppet PCs.
Cancel.
Anyway. Well,
If there's nothing.
I believe that's everything we need. Oh, there was one other matter. Because of the new concentration of effort I'm having to put into on the whole get down the wall technocracy bullshit, I am going to be granting Alwyn Mercer my position as Primogen. It's been decided.
There's a clear matter as to what problem with this. Oh. One more person. Head out for the evening. Mr. Buchanan.
Ma'am?
I understand that the questions that I ask, though necessary, can come off insulting, perhaps a bit brass. For the inconvenience that trivial doom, I think would be sufficient recompense. I'll be sure to report it with a hype.
Jameson will just kind of smile and say that we were actually just about to go meet her and have Mr. Buchanan's status recorded. We'll leave you to...
Joey, you're making me a very busy SQ.
Yeah, well played. Can't really say shit about that.
We'll leave you to your evening, Prince Becker. Enjoy it as best you can. By the way, who was the rather unusual fellow that was leaving when we arrived?
It seems Mr. Buchanan is not the only person here to help with the situation.
Really?
Yes.
Well, he seems to have strayed fairly far from the path of humanity.
That could be a problem in the city.
Is there nothing to be suspicion thus far?
I'm not saying anything about his personal character. I'm just saying, as Mr. Jameson has made a point to make, when someone has strayed so far from the path of humanity, it becomes, without certain abilities, nigh impossible to maintain the masquerade and keep in such a populated city as this.
No,
And
if
he was the one who came here to keep the masquerade and has my acknowledgement of hospitality.
I'm just simply stating a concern.
Duly noted.
Jameson will nod his head. That's good enough for me. I will begin working on the whole bringing down the wall situation and see what efforts I can direct towards finding out more about this deep water location and possibly sending in insurgents.
Hopefully the contacts Prince Becker has given us may help. Not that I would think that the mages would be openly willing to talk to us on a whim, but they may have information that we do not.
Well, I'm sure that when they understand that this is a matter of grave importance to one of ours, they will see the logic in helping us out.
Just tell Arthur that Becker vouches for you.
I'll leave that in the hands of Mr. Mercer. I should be returning to my work. If you two wish to stay and continue any, well, let's get him over to the Harpy first, and then I'll head back to my work. Good evening, Prince.
Good evening, sir.
So,
How do we want to handle this? Because you usually have me play the Harpy.
I can
Mark,
run the
can you
Harpy.
handle this? The scowling bitch is something that I can do typing, but
I can be the Harpy.
Yeah, I suppose Julia could step in as the Harpy. You've seen me play Michelle before. You've seen him play Michelle before, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
I know who I am and how bitchy I am, so it should be fine.
You know that gossip sorority girl? Think that, except more professional.
What?
Like, more professional. It's a Toreador. I mean, after all.
So, Jameson will lead the two to find Michelle LaBelle, the Harpy. Probably sitting somewhere, watching, writing notes, thinking about how best to cause more drama in the city.
I feel like some Nosferatu has posted some drama llama meme on her desk that she can't get off.
Alright. So, Julia, whenever you're ready, Jameson will walk up to Michelle and say, "Good evening, Harpy. I have a bit of news for you."
News that I don't yet know? Highly unlikely.
He'll motion to his new arrival. "This is Titus Buchanan of my clan. He's just arrived in the city and needs to have his status recorded, as well as any boons he may be owed outside of the domain."
Ah, yes, I got that text. All right, Mr. Buchanan.
Hello. I have the status of elder, and I am confirmed, established, and privileged.
As well as acknowledged. Always a good thing to throw in there.
Yeah, acknowledge is assume, but yeah.
Yeah.
You'll write it down. And hospitality has been granted through Prince Becker, I assume?
Yes.
Anything else? Boons?
And one, she gave a trivial boon, correct?
Yep.
One trivial boon owed from the prince. Prince Becker.
She'll write that down.
I'm sure Prince Becker has already confirmed that trivial boon. She doesn't seem the type to leave things up to chance. Oh, another piece of business. As of now, I'm no longer Primogen. By my word, Aldwin Mercer is now Primogen of my clan. Unfortunately, my time is too consumed with actually solving the big picture in the city, rather than acting like a go-between between the prince and the rest of the clan. Trust me, my talents are... Mr. Mercer's talents are much more suited to the social aspect of Camarilla politics than I am.
I avert my eyes and keep my eyes down. Jesus, stop down.
That has been reported.
That's all.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anything you've heard about the newcomer in the city, the one that walked out of here just recently?
Do you think she's your newcomer in the city?
I would
She's probably heard the Nos talking about the guy that turned into the White Wolf. I don't know if the prince would have told her about Beckett, except that there's a guy. The guy. I mean, she's a harpy. She probably would have tried to do some snooping when she saw somebody she didn't know walking around the Elysium.
Yeah, and Beckett's a pretty prominent figure in kindred society.
Well, I know that he has Becker's hospitality. He's independent. He knows the Nos. A wolf can turn into a wolf.
He'll just be like,
Brother Bartholomew, and wants a sarcophagus.
Oh, yay. Yet another person.
well, hopefully he's more competent than others. From the whole turning into a wolf part, I would almost have to assume he's a gangrel, but I understand they do teach that, so disgusting bit of business that is. Well, inside secretly, I want it so bad.
Who doesn't want Protean?
No, but
That's the better question.
yeah.
Well, I would assume at this point, if the prince seems to trust him, until proven otherwise, it shouldn't be any deviation on the matter the way I see it.
No, no, I said. Yes, for the best, of course. We should if you guys wish to go out and introduce Mr. Buchanan to the city, I would have no objections. However, I do need to get to my work. Making the city a safer place for all supernaturals.
Of course.
So he'll head out, get in his car. Let Carlisle know if you need a vehicle brought to you. He's on detached duty right now. Carlisle's the Acolyte 7 in the Chantry.
Okay.
He's like right on the cusp of being embraced. It's like
I am close to being a real boy!
exactly. At which point, he will drive off.
I guess from here we can set up a social if we want to.
Sure. I actually need to go to bed. So do you need to make a call to Arthur? Because I could probably stay up another half an hour, but it's pushing it.
I'm not going to push it. I'll send him a call, I guess, along the lines of, at your convenience, Miss Becker directed me to you and a few of your friends on a matter.
After a bit of it, he'll actually get texted back. Well, I'm a little tied up right now, not in the fun way. So I'll have to get back with you on it at a later date. But shouldn't be too big of an issue. I'm guessing you're one of hers, right?
Yes.
What
And he'd
cl-
give his to Aldwin Mercer.
Yeah.
He isn't going to give his clan over a fucking phone.
Right. Arthur will find that out when he gets there. So,
I want to punch Becker in the face.
yeah. All right, then. I'm going to go ahead and close up scene. If you guys want to make a social afterwards, that's perfectly fine. This is probably the last scene I'm going to be doing before I go on vacation. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We've had another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards, where the vampires are actually not the most skeezy in the city for once. Have a good night.